If you're making music and you want to be heard, if you want to be seen, build an audience and monetize that, should you be on social media?
Yep.
Are there a whole lot of people out there that make great music and never get heard because they refuse to join social media?
Yep.
Is it as hard as everybody says it is?
No.
Let's talk about that. What's going on, guys? Adam Ivy back again with another video, but this time I'm featuring my good friend Cracka. What's going on, man?
What's up, everyone?
Good to finally connect. First and foremost, I'll have all of his links in the description box below, but today we wanted to talk about the importance of social media because there's so many people out there. You right now, you might be making awesome music, but social media might intimidate you. Social media might be something that you think is not relevant. You see all your other big artists that you follow, such as Drake, Beyonce, they're not posting, they're not telling people to like, comment, subscribe, so why should we have to? This is one thing that a lot of people ask, and so I brought my good friend Cracka here all the way down from Michigan, coming to visit me here in sunny Florida to talk about that. What's going on, man?
Man, it's a beautiful state that you live in.
It is. It's a little bit hot, but luckily today there's a good breeze. We have security coming around us, making sure that we're safe and okay. We got some hooligans shooting behind the scenes over here. But anyway, one thing I wanted to talk about is we just did a video. So there's a video that we talked about when it comes to so many people ignoring social media. Is it important? And that's over on his channel. I'll have that in the description box below, like I mentioned. But one thing I wanted to talk about is, okay, maybe you're intimidated. Okay, maybe you thought that social media wasn't a good idea or something that you just, didn't really care to do. Maybe you want to stay a little bit low key, like we hear a lot of artists talking about on a day-to-day basis, right? Oh, I don't need social media, man. I'm gonna stay low key. I don't really need to be known like that. Yet they get disappointed when they have great records, they have great music, but nobody hears them. Do you see that quite a bit?
All the time. What tends to happen is I think people overcomplicate social media and what they should be posting. They'll even give a deadline, like, no, in a couple months I'm about to get this camera, or then I'm gonna do this, and this, and then I'm gonna start social media. It's like, why wait till then when you can start now?
I mean, this guy is a perfect example of getting started before you're ready. We started on social media before the days of MySpace. MySpace was like the big poppin' thing, but we were on there taking photos, videos. I mean, before even myself, this is before we had quality cameras in our phones, right? This is when we had point and shoots. We had the old Kodak Easy Share that we were trying to do YouTube videos with. But the one thing that I think a lot of people get stumbled up on is, where do I start? You understand that social media is going to be a tool that you can use to build your brand, build your influence, be able to really get heard and be seen. But it's like with all the different, knowledge that's out there, with all the different accounts that are out there, where do you really jump in? Now, I wanted to sit down and talk to a real OG when it comes to the social media game. YouTube, you're over 50,000. Instagram, you're building all of these different things. You've seen so many winds of change come through in the last decade plus. Where do you think would be a really good platform right now for people to jump into?
If I was starting today, I would go really hard on TikTok. And see, I'm all about efficiency. I tend to say a lot, like, kill two birds with one stone. Let's kill three birds with one stone. So the reason why I like YouTube so much is YouTube is like the long form content. So it's kind of like the Gary Vee approach, where you focus on one main big piece of content. So even if you're a music artist and you come out with a music video, or you come out with like a vlog just showing you a day in your life working on music, going to the studio, maybe behind the scenes of a photo shoot, behind the scenes of something, just bring people into your life, and now you have a big piece of content. Now from there, where's the next big places that everyone's hanging out on? And it's like TikTok. Say from this YouTube video, we could honestly take maybe 3 different clips and upload these 60-second clips or 30-second clips, and now we're putting these on Instagram Reels, putting them on TikTok, and then maybe we take a 2-minute part of this video, like one of these tips, and upload that directly to Facebook. Yeah. So it's just being as efficient as you possibly can, and being on the different platforms, because this audience right here on YouTube, you might be missing out and not actually following us currently on Instagram.
Yeah, and if you're not, what are you waiting for? Instagram at Adam Ivy,
at Cracka_lack.
All those links will be in the description box below. And I love what you're saying here, because so many people think that they have to dominate on every platform, and that's simply not the case. What I highly recommend doing is pick 2 or 3 platforms to get started on. From there, you grow, you build, you understand the language of the platforms, and you get consistent with them. like he was just saying, if we did this video, for example, we could take this, chop it down to a TikTok how-to type thing. We could chop it down to a reel. We could even take some of the stuff we're talking about and maybe add text to it and make it a carousel for Instagram. So there's so many different things, but I really want you guys to lean in, especially when you get started, on things that you're comfortable with, on things that you enjoy doing. If you don't like being on camera, maybe start on Twitter. If you don't like being on camera, maybe post a few times on Facebook or LinkedIn even, if you're talking about something in more of a professional sense. But if you do like getting on camera, you have an unfair advantage, because to be heard is to be seen. You could go on YouTube, you could chop all that video up over to Instagram, to TikTok, and those are 3 visual platforms.
Right.
That it's less work. We always talk about efficiencies. When you're wanting to do music as a career, you want to be as efficient and as effective as possible. So what we want to do is want to lean into what we're really good at. So this is where I want you guys to start with social media. You want to present yourself as a professional entity. You don't want to come off as a dabbler. You don't want to come off as somebody that's doing music as a hobby. However, you don't have to have a super expensive camera. You don't have to hire this guy day one to shoot a music video for you. If it's your first song and you're just getting started, you might not have a budget. Use what you have till what you have pays for what you want. Like I always say, I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me say it, but where would you start when it comes to the gear, to the tech stuff? Where would you start when it comes to the creation of all this stuff? We keep calling it content, but what would you suggest? I mean, this guy right here, visual mastermind when it comes to music videos. He's an artist himself, a producer himself, a studio owner, and a bunch of other stuff. So he's successfully built all these different entities using visuals, using writing, using all these different social platforms to build up a multiple 6-figure career.
Yeah, I would say a good strategy for anyone starting out would be to, success leaves clues. So if you're a music producer, maybe go follow the 10 hottest music producers or guys that you look up to, and then really reverse engineer what it is that they're doing. So I've done this before myself. I'll get a pad of paper and I'll be like, okay, who are 10 guys that I look up to, or who are 10 guys that are bigger than me that have a following that would be interested in me as well? And I'll write down their name. I'll write down what platforms that they're focused on, because you can see that too. You can look up their YouTube and maybe they have a bunch of subscribers. They're really active on YouTube. And maybe they don't even use Facebook, or they don't even use Twitter. They're not even on TikTok. So I'll write it down. I'll say, John Doe, whatever person. They're on YouTube and they do 2 videos a week. Okay. What type of videos do they post? And I'll write that down.
Yeah.
And then let's say it's Instagram. Okay, Instagram, they only post once a month. They're not very good at Instagram, so I'm not really going to study that. And then I'll put together a list of like 10 people, and then I'll write down everything that they're doing, and then that gives you a good starting point to get an idea of what type of content you should be putting out there, because success leaves clues. Another thing on YouTube that you can do is you can go to a channel, say you go to Adam IV, and you go to his videos, his uploads, and you can sort by most popular. And then from there, it'll show you, okay, what are the biggest videos that Adam's done? Maybe that'll give me an idea of something that I can talk about. And if you're a music artist, go to your favorite music artist YouTube channels, sort by most popular, look at what type of videos have worked for them, do the same thing on their Instagram. Are they posting pictures of them performing? People will only take you as serious as you take yourself. So with that being said, if you want me to believe in you, I need to see that you believe in yourself. And so that's where the proof is in the content of your page. If I go to your page, it's almost like your resume of trying to win me over as a believer, as a supporter.
Yeah.
And so I need to be...
They have to prove themselves through consistency.
Yeah.
Because no different than if we find one video on Netflix for a series, we have no idea when the next one's coming out. We have no idea if they plan on releasing the whole series, continuing it, if it's been canceled because there's no information. We're not going to feel as confident binging anything or jumping back into another one if it's only one. So if somebody lands on your profile, first and foremost, they see a profile photo that doesn't look professional. Maybe it's an anime character. Maybe it's just the stock emoji with a letter or whatever if it's on YouTube. They're not going to look at you as somebody that's serious on the platform. And just like Cracka is saying, when you look for those clues within success, you could say, okay, this person 5 years ago started on Instagram here. Go back and see how the growth patterns were. Because the content that's all polished up now, it's nice, it's great, they have a blue check mark or whatever. We can't compare where we're starting with where they are now, but we can compare where we're starting to where they started. And we could say, okay, hey, like I'm actually I'm actually a little bit further along in my, ability to do photos or ability to do videos, or maybe they're very confident on doing, selfie videos or lives even. Like that's something that I struggle with, is going live, because the spontaneous thing kind of gives me a little bit of stress and anxiety sometimes. But
same.
Yeah, and lean into what you're good at. But this is one thing I need you guys to understand. When it comes to social media, you're not just pushing your music. You're not just pushing that release that you're getting ready. You're pushing you. You are the brand, your music is the product. So make sure that every single brand that you're building has three things in common. First and foremost, aesthetic, brand narrative, why people should care about you, the messaging that you're putting out there, almost like a mission statement for why people should actually listen to you, and then that brand aesthetic for how you want people to view you. Maybe you like warm tones in your videos and you're using, or in your photos, and you're using certain filters. Or maybe you're using cold black and white stuff because that's kind of your vibe. Lean into what you represent and what you want people to know you for. Now, another thing I need you guys to understand is when you have that brand aesthetic and that brand narrative, we have to understand that, is that landing with a group of strangers? Say it all the time, but what we think we are isn't necessarily what people see us as. And then once you have that, then you have to find an audience, because then you're putting yourself in front of the traffic that already exists. Talk about this quite a bit, but once you have those three things in place, the brand has a footing. From the brand, then you could start marketing. So social media is not just post a bunch of stuff randomly. You need to have intent.
Yeah. Having a vision. So one thing that I've done recently is I close my eyes and I try to picture where I want my career to be. What does my Instagram page look like? What type of posts are on that page? And so then you write that down right there. If I want to be this guy that's doing $20, $50, $100,000 music videos and stuff, what does my page look like? How often am I posting? Am I getting good engagement? Is it very high quality behind the scene pictures of that? If someone's seen that picture of me, they would think that this guy's the real deal right here.
Yeah.
So, and even when you're not to that point, you have to start somewhere. And I would say if you're in the beginning stages, embrace the suck. Everyone starts somewhere. Just whatever stage you're at right now, this is your before. Like a weight loss picture, there's a before and an after. You might be at the before point, but no one's gonna know what your before or your starting point was if you don't actually put that out there publicly.
That's a great point that you make, because think about any documentary that you watch. I love documentaries. I binge watch them on Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max, any place I can get my hands on documentaries. We never see a documentary that doesn't have any origin story content. You might suck right now, like you said, embrace the suck. You gotta crawl through a whole lot of mud and muck and dirt before you get to those beautiful flower fields that you see on calendars, right? So what we have to do is we have to understand the content is not great right now, but I'm not that great right now. Because who we are in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, go back and watch my content from years ago, go back and watch this guy's content from years ago, and I'll have that in the description box below, and then see where we're at now. And not only is it going to be inspiring, but it's also going to show that, hey, we weren't the greatest. We might have thought that we were kind of, feeling ourselves at the time, but looking back, we've grown so much and understand the different elements of creating a little bit better product, evolving into different gear. Maybe you got better cameras, I got better cameras, better microphones, all these different things, to where you are right now is all about getting your footing. It's not about going from 0 to 100,000 and a blue check mark on Instagram, or getting, 100,000 subscribers and $10,000 a month. Where you want to go does matter, obviously, but how do we, like he said, reverse engineer that back to a point where I need to get going? You can't steer a car that's not moving. So many people worry about how many jelly beans will fit into a jar. All you got to do is keep putting one after another. The steps, the day after day. Get those in, and all of a sudden it's full. All of a sudden you have a career. All of a sudden you're talking to a camera in Florida telling you guys where to start when it comes to building your brand. So if you want to go check out his stuff, Success Leaves Clues, he's going to give you a whole bunch of those clues on Instagram, on YouTube, for example. I hopefully give you some content on Instagram, on YouTube. And if you want to learn more about these things, if you want to learn more about building your brand, getting up and running on social media, watch the video that's popping up on the screen right now. Make sure to check out this guy's channel in the description box below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can be notified anytime I upload a video just like this. Come connect with us over on Instagram. And Cracka, I appreciate you coming out, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. We'll see you next time.
Hit one.
What's going on, guys? AdamIvanSellMusic.com.
The camera tips up.
Yeah, boom.